Hello, and welcome back to Get Acclimated, part of the Altitude Sickness podcast. I am Tony, and today we're going to be talking about Pierson Ohl, a pitcher that they traded for in addition to Edward Julian from the Minnesota Twins. And so today, as usual part of this series, we're just going to go over him really quick, going over his major league and minor league stats actually from last year. And so this one's not going to be too long just because he didn't have that many innings at the major league level. And I see him more as a bullpen piece. So without further ado, we'll just get right on into it, honestly. So he is from Moore Park, California, and he was drafted in the 14th round by the 2021 by the Twins from Grand Canyon University, and he's a right-handed pitcher as well. So in 2025, he pitched 30 innings in the major leagues to a 5.10 ERA, a 4.20 FIP with 27 strikeouts and 7 walks. So a 20.3% strikeout rate to a 5.3% walk rate. He had a 1.5 whip and an 84 ERA plus. So he doesn't strike too many guys out. He's not a high strikeout guy, but he doesn't walk a lot of people either. So obviously, if you're not going to strike guys out, you can't walk people. And so that's a big thing, is that he just doesn't allow a lot of walks. And then in the minor leagues, it's a pretty similar story. He's got 27 innings, 27.1, 27 and a third, I guess, innings, with a 3.29 ERA, a 3.5 FIP with 30 strikeouts to 6 walks, or 26.1% strikeout rate to a 5.2% walk rate. So pretty similar, a little more strikeouts in the minor leagues, which makes sense, but about the same walk percentage, so that's good that translated. And he had a 1.134 whip. So overall, he was obviously a little bit better in the minor leagues, but that's kind of expected. But I think a big thing is that he did not walk more people in the major league level. He still was pretty good at throwing strikes at the major league level, which is always good, especially the Rockies need that. You can't afford to walk people pitching at Coors Field for a majority of your time, so that's just something you can't afford to do. So the few standout stats that I've got with him are his chase percentage. So in the major leagues last year, his chase percentage was 31.1%, so a little less than a third of the time. And then the minor leagues, it was a 32.1%. And so that's another thing that seems to translate. That's translating to the major leagues, which is good. And again, with him not having that high of a strikeout rate, it makes sense that it's not going to be up in the 40% for the whiff rate. And so that's fine, just as long as he can get either weak contact and not walk people. That's always good. And then another standout stats, he's actually, even though he's a right-handed pitcher, he actually is better against lefties. So I think that that's honestly partly why the Rockies may have gone and got him, was because they only currently have one lefty in their bullpen with Brennan Bernardino. And so this guy can act as a lefty, like as a left-handed pitcher, because you want the left-handed pitcher to go in and face left-handed batters. Well, if you have a right-handed pitcher that can deal with left-handed batters, I mean, that's just as good. And so against left-handed pitchers last year in the major leagues, they batted .264 with a .696 OPS and a .67 OPS plus. So pretty, like 33% worse than the league average against him. So that's pretty good, especially, again, him being a right-handed pitcher against a lefty. The problem came with right-handed batters. They batted .352 with a 1.026 OPS and a 144 OPS plus. So he kind of got crushed by righties here. And so that's not ideal. Obviously, you don't want to be so much worse against a certain side of the plate. But at the same time, if we're using him mainly as that lefty, like if he comes in when there's two left-handed batters coming up in that inning, I mean, that's when you use him. And so maybe that's what they're going to be using him for. And then, so his other note that I have, a few other notes I've got. So he doesn't throw that hard either. His average four-seam fastball was 91.9 miles an hour, so a little less than 92. So not super hard, which, velocity is not everything. But that definitely, I think, is why he was not as effective against righties, is because coming from right to right side, right-handed batter seeing it from the right side. If you're seeing it at a slower pace, I think that's a little bit easier to handle, and so that could definitely be why he's not as good against right-handed pitchers or hitters, I mean. And then last year it started pretty rough, and then he got into a groove a little bit. So I think his overall stats got a little bit inflated because his first few starts were not good, or his first few appearances in the major leagues were not good. But after a while, he got better as time went on. Looking at it just like a rolling weighted on base average graph, it started pretty high, about 70 plate appearances into his pitching year. It stayed around a 400, but then it just started going down and down, and then it ended near a 275. So it was just a matter of him getting maybe more consistent playing time, getting used to the major leagues. He found his groove a little bit, which is obviously good. And this year I expect him to be used. I think he can be both a starter and a reliever is his experience. And so I expect him to be a reliever mainly, but having the ability to become a starter too in a pinch, especially if it's going to be like last year, there's going to need the starting pitching depth is going to be tested again, probably just because of injuries. Because injuries are probably going to happen. And so I foresee him getting some starts, but not being his main thing. I think he will mainly be a reliever, which is, that's fine. I think he fits better, especially his struggles against right-handed batters. I don't think you'd want someone that's doing that bad against right-handers to be a starter. I think you'd rather than be a reliever to where they can just deal with the lefties when he needs to. And so, but overall, yep, both a reliever and a starter. He throws 5 different pitches, and he threw 7 at the minor league level, but 2 of them were so low percentage-wise that I don't think he threw them at the major leagues last year. And so, and a big thing here too is the Rockies will have control, like team control of him until 2032. Like this dude made his debut last year, so this guy is going to be like on the Rockies for a very long time. And he was still, I think, a rookie. Like I don't think he threw enough to where he didn't throw enough in the big leagues to where he wasn't a rookie. So he still is rookie status. So that is why they have him through 2032. And so that's a big thing. I think that's kind of why they wanted to lump him in with this trade here, was because now they have a controllable reliever for a very long time, or starter, I suppose, depending on maybe how they see him in the future. But yeah, overall, I think he's a solid pickup. I think hopefully with the new pitching coaches, they can develop something a little bit, maybe get him to use his other pitches more, considering that fastball is not as fast, or maybe get some more velocity on that fastball. But that's kind of the goal with this guy is just see what we can do with him and see what we can, where we can go from here with his career. So, but that's all I've got on him. Nothing crazy, not a long video. But other than that, as always, go Rockies, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.